2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
We're joined now by Mike, who is one of the first tourists to head into North Korea post-COVID. Mate, insane. Tell us about the experience.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was bizarre, man. I mean, it's something I've been working on for a while. Like, there'd been this talk of it opening up for about 6 months now, and it just had never really happened. So I just got onto these. You can only go in with a tour, right? And I'm someone that likes to travel, purely independently. I like the freedom of going to do what I want and go wherever I want to. But anyway, I got in with this tour and they were great, man. They were a cool tour, YPT, they were called. And it was good. It was like stepping into, there was a weight to a weight to this occasion, right? It's the first time they've opened up for over 5 years to tourists. So you could feel it. You could kind of cut the tension in the air at times. It was like stepping into a country that has been, in total isolation for the past 5 years.
Are you scared, Mike, going in?
Yeah, I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous for sure. I think if it wasn't for there's been a couple of famous cases of tourists. Well, one famous case of a tourist going in and not making it out consciously, and that was the only thing. I think if it wasn't for that, I don't think it would have bothered me as much. But it's just it is quite scary. The guides we were with, we had 3 North Korean guides and a driver and a photographer, and they did their best to make us feel at ease. But there was definitely this sense of nervousness, fear, for sure.
Yeah, so you go on a tour. You can't just jump onto booking.com and, Flight Centre and book a flight there. What's the process? Do you have to get approved? How does that process happen?
Yeah, so you booking through a tour. It was about a nightmare, basically. So I booked into the tour, kind of a tour in December, and I was one of the first people I said, look, I really want to be the first one in there. So they vet you. They'll do a quick vet on your background, and I was honest and open, and I said, I'm a YouTuber, and this is what I do. I'm not a journalist at all, and I've got no agenda. And then they were like, okay, sweet, you should be able to come in. It got pushed back. So it was supposed to be the first one was supposed to be beginning of Feb, and then it got pushed back to maybe March. So I've flown to Northeast India to see my mate to a super rural area, and it took me 16 hours to get there. And as soon as I got to his village, I look at my phone and I've got an email saying, "You guys to North Korea in 4 days," and I was
oh my gosh.
So then I had to say to my mate, I hadn't seen for 2 years. I was like, "I'm so sorry, dude. I've got to turn around and get back on the next plane tomorrow." But overall, it was a pretty smooth process. The North Koreans, when they said it was opening up again to confirm, they gave all the tours. There's only 2 tour groups that were allowed in. They gave them a 4-hour window. And whoever basically replied to that email within those 4 hours was confirmed to be on that first trip.
Yeah, wow. And so when you're over there, do you get a sense of you're obviously not seeing the whole picture? There's that movie, the James Franco one, the interview, and they're so there's all the fruit in the supermarkets fake. It's sort of like when you're on one of those tours, they're showing you a part of the picture, but not the whole picture, right? Is that the idea?
For sure. Honestly, I wouldn't go as far to say that things were staged. There's this conspiracy that everything is staged and that everyone's actors and you're kind of being funneled around. The way my friend put it, an American friend of mine, he said, we're not that effing important, right? We're just 8 nerds that just wanted to go to North Korea. The government aren't going to do this big. They're not. Things weren't fake in that sense. There was 100% an itinerary, a very, very meticulously planned itinerary. And we were only allowed to see certain things. So we went to a pharmacy, we went to a brewery, we went to the school. I'm sure you might have seen that video of the kids with the missiles in the background. we did all of that, but at the end of the day, it's impossible for them to like totally stop us from seeing stuff because we were on buses through the countryside. We were in a city that's inhabited by 100,000 people. But yeah, we weren't allowed to stray too far from our guides. But I wouldn't go as far as saying everything was totally staged. Rehearsed, some moments were rehearsed, like the kids. There was a school. We observed a classroom of kids learning, and that was rehearsed. It was a foreign language school, so I think they just wanted to. At the end of the day, they want to put their best foot forward. They want to show their best work.
Yeah.
They don't want you to see any of the negative sides of it.
When you're over there, can you jump on the internet, or what's the situation with that?
Nah, dude, it was total blackout for the whole 5 days. Yeah, you don't get any internet. There is such thing as North Korean internet. It's something like only 7 approved websites, and it cost about $400 for a SIM card.
Oh, God.
What were the
Yeah.
websites?
And that's like per month, and that's something. It's something like $20 per megabyte, or it's something ridiculous like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's something ridiculous.
Yeah,
on
you're
that.
not playing
But,
PlayStation online. You're not playing COD with your
Nah,
mates,
dude.
that's for sure.
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
If you were to give us one thing that has really stuck with you that was a bit maybe the scariest thing you experienced, what would that be?
There was a moment, right? And the thing is, anywhere else in the world, it would be a totally just like innocuous thing. It's coming out in the video I'm putting out next week. We went to the Russia North Korea Friendship House, which is a house built by Kim Jong Il to commemorate this bond that Russia and North Korea have.
Sounds like a
And
fun
we went
time.
in, yeah, it was a fun time. We went in and they asked me to write in the visitors book. It's a nice, beautiful building, nice, beautiful book. I wrote in the visitors book like a 9-year-old girl on Christmas Day. I wrote, "I wish nothing but peace to the world" in this book, right?
Yeah.
Which, in hindsight, might have been a pretty dumb thing to write, considering the day before there was a spectacle of children dancing in front of intercontinental ballistic missiles. And there was a kind of audible silence in the room for about 30 seconds while they looked at this piece of paper that said, "I wish peace for the world." And that caused me anxiety because in my head, you get paranoid and you're like, well, have they taken that as some kind of critique about North Korea, or that there's
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
I can't really pinpoint any like super scary moments. It was just a general, subtle buzz of anxiety the entire time, and unfortunately, a lot of that is to do with our preconceptions.
Yeah, of
I
course. And obviously, sometimes there's footage you see of North Korea, and then there's also like the full communist stuff with the big sculptures and the marches in front of Kim Jong Un and that sort of thing. Did you see like much military presence? Was it heavily guarded, or was it kind of just like just a massive country and you didn't see a lot of that stuff?
So I was in one region called Razon, which is it's kind of like a special economic zone. There was a military presence, but I didn't see, there were no kind of big ceremonies. Just the week before I got there, a friend of mine he went there on a business delegation. He was one of the tour guides that had to go in before. It was Kim Il Sung's birthday, and they did a lot of that. They did the kids, in the choreographed dancing and the parades and stuff. I didn't see it. There was a sense of that there was military personnel around, but not in an overwhelming sense. No.
Yeah, right. Is there one thing in your perspective of North Korea that's now completely changed, having been there?
Not completely changed. No, I mean, whenever you go to a new country, you always have preconceptions of it, and then it differs coming out. I think my main preconception going in was that, this is a bad place, right? That's what it was like. This is an evil place. This is a scary place, because that's what you think.
Yeah.
I came out thinking, I can't talk about the politics because I just don't know enough about it. But I came out with the opinion that this, again, the politics aside, this is a very developing country that is 60 years behind everywhere else, and they're just struggling to keep up. I saw, happy kids that seemed happy, and at the end of the day, unfortunately, we don't know how much of it is. It's all indoctrination, right? You just don't know how much of it is real, and if you do speak out against the leaders, then you could go to prison. So
Yeah.
you just don't know what's real and what's not.
Obviously, there's a lot of that, how it's all, we hear over here that there's like, only 4 like government mandated haircuts and that they believe that, Kim Jong-un doesn't, defecate and that
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you get that sense? Do they talk about Supreme Leader like it's this sort of like,
Dude.
yeah?
Dude. Yeah, he's a god, man. He's a god. He really is a god. Like so religion isn't a thing there. Religion is like banned there essentially. One of the reasons that they're worried about, I guess, opening up to the rest of the world is that, you could get some Christian dude coming in and handing out Bibles to everyone, and that would cause a lot of problems. The leaders are gods, essentially. And when you speak to people, it's like all of the music you hear, is revolves around the leadership. There's a popular song that's just come out 10 months ago, and it's the equivalent of what like a Kendrick Lamar song would be in terms of how big it is, right?
Wow.
And it's all about that. The lyrics are, we love Kim Jong-un. He is our great leader. He will love us forever, and we will love him. And it's just like, do you know what I mean? We went to a school classroom, and the teacher's just like, who can tell? There's a book called The Great Man about Kim, or one of the Kims, sorry.
One of the Kims,
And they go, who's the greatest man in the world? And then the kids stand up, Kim Jong-un, Kim Il-sung is the greatest man in the world because he da-da-da-da-da. It's just, it's indoctrination on another level. And again, you just don't know how much of it they actually agree with.
I gotta say, like in your video, Mike, and speaking with us now, like you've been, I feel like you've been very respectful with everything, really. Like you don't feel like you cross the line, but surely in the back of your head, right? Like if you say something that isn't right or isn't kosher, or you're seen to be critiquing, like, are you not worried? That sort of thing, because it's such a global thing. It's like, this guy's been. I think you're walking the line perfectly. You know what I mean? But does that play on your mind? Like, what if there's like a North Korean spy or something like that?
No, for sure, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess there's a level. The thing is, I'm out the country, right? So I don't really care.
Yeah, of course.
What they think of me at this point. And what you've got to remember is I saw one part of it. It's like, you go to Australia and I could go to one small section of it. I just can't speak for the rest of the country. The only thing I can speak for is what I saw. Apologies if it feels like I'm walking the line. It's just how my job is to go in somewhere and document exactly what I saw and then show it to the world and give my opinion about it. I'm not there to discuss the politics about it. I'm not there to to critique it or to discuss the human rights abuses, which there are many of, a list as long as my arm. I'm not there to talk about the prison camps and the suspected this and that. I'm there to talk about what it looks like in 2025 for a 28-year-old dude to do a 4-day tour in North Korea.
Yeah, no, I think you're doing a great job.
Mike,
you've gone in and no judgment. Love it.
Would you ever go again, or is once enough?
I would like to go to Pyongyang again for sure. What I saw was very rural countryside part of North Korea. I would like to go to Pyongyang. Maybe do the marathon one day. They do a marathon every year, which is actually supposed to be happening next month. But I don't know if you heard about this. Yesterday, I got a phone call, and this kind of did scare me a little bit. Yesterday, I got a phone call saying that they've just closed tourism again after 3 weeks.
Oh, interesting. And nothing to do with you. You hope not.
Well, they said my name wasn't mentioned. They said that they're potentially reevaluating kind of influencers and content creators. I think here's my opinion on that. In the 5 years that they've been completely shut off from the rest of the world has exploded, especially in terms of content and YouTube and Instagram or whatever, and everyone's an influencer these days. So I think they maybe underestimated that. I don't know. Again, that's absolutely purely speculative. It could be a million reasons. It could be because they want to develop it further, and that maybe this was just a test run,
trial run.
Well,
the good news is, I guess, you got your video, so hopefully that's just great for your views.
There you go.
Everyone else is like,
no one else can have it now.
You bloody did it, and people can check it out. Like, obviously, we can only have a chat here, but there's like a full video. It goes for like half an hour. It's like an episode of a TV show. It's great. You can check it out. Mike OK, OKAY on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I really appreciate it.
I wonder if with the marathon every year, Supreme Leader wins it.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
They drop him in with the last 100 metres and he sprints it.
Yeah. I think the last 50, let's be honest.
Please watch yourself.
I didn't go there. I'm fine, man.
And that's it!
Like that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.